Hi viewers, welcome to our channel. This is Kishore Palavalsa. Please subscribe our channel. Till now, anyone not subscribed? Okay, I need your support always. Okay, so now today we are going to discussing about the main difference between AC machines and DC machines. Okay, the main difference between AC machines, AC machines and DC machines. Okay, and DC machines. So coming to the main difference is in case of coming to the AC machines, okay. So that is like either induction machines or synchronous machines, okay. As well as coming to the DC machines, either DC generators or are also called as like a DC motors, okay. All those things is there, okay. So all those we are discussing in the previous sessions. If you have any doubt, please go through our channel in the previous session classes videos. Then only you can clearly understand. You can clearly understood. Okay, so coming to here, so in case of AC machines, basically the armature winding. So the armature winding which is placed on stator. Okay, in case of AC machines, the armature winding which is placed on stator, and also the field winding which is placed on rotor. Okay, in case of AC machines, the armature winding which is placed on stator, as well as the field winding which is placed on rotor. Okay, so armature winding means, so let us consider this is like a stator of the machines, as well as this is like a rotor of the machines. So in the stator we are basically placing to the like this here armature winding, like this armature winding, okay, like this. In case of DC machines, that is like generator motor, the armature winding which is placed on rotor. Okay, this is like armature winding. For example, this is placed on rotor, as well as the field winding which is placed on stator. So like this we have to representation. Construction will be entirely different to the both AC generator as well as DC generator. Okay. So according to the placing of both armature winding as well as field winding on both DC machines as well as AC machines, here one problem is there. Why? Because here, so in case of DC machines, we can't use the voltage rating beyond 230 volts. Okay, we are using only below 230 volts purpose only. We have to generally use to the DC generators. Okay, why? Because in case of DC generator, here the armature winding which is placed on rotor. So whenever supply will be given to the field winding of the stator, in that some flux will be existing. That flux will be cuts to the rotor through the media of air gap. Okay. So here whenever the flux will be existing in that rotor, some EMF will be developed. Due to that EMF resultant, finally we are getting to the current in case of DC generator. So that current can be collected with the help of brushes. Already know that, I think in the previous sessions already we are discussing also. But here one thing happened is there. Here the rotor will be continuously rotating. Along with the armature. So the armature winding also wounding on the rotor here. So whenever the rotor will be rotating, in that along with the armature winding also rotating, at the same time the continuous supply can be consuming to the brushes also here. So which is fed to the load center also. So that's why here, so continuous here rotation will be there. So due to the continuous current collection also there by the brushes, that's why the armature of the motor will be very heating. Why? Because here the rotor will be continuously rotating along with the armature. So at that instant, so due to continuous rotation of rotor, so the heat will be developed on the armature. So due to that, if the continuous process will be takes place like that, so due to some more of instant of time, the armature will be very heating. So that's why resultant there may be a burning of armature. So that's why we can't use it for the at the high voltage to the DC generator. So which is used at only up to 230 volts only. Why? Because here the armature winding will be heating due to the continuous supply will be consuming by the brushes. Okay. So that is the problem in case of DC generator. And also, if you want to go for the AC machines, so that is not problem here occurring. In that, the armature winding which is placed on stator, okay, in this armature winding which is placed on stator, field winding placed on rotor, okay. Here the supply which is we are always giving to the field winding to the any machine, okay. So that's why here the armature, so the current can be collecting by the brushes in any machine also. So here the supply can be in any machine, generally we are given to the field winding, and also the power supply can be consuming by the armature to the any machine also, that is like either AC machines, that is like either AC machines or DC machines. So that's why here there is no problem. Because here armature will be there in the stator will be the stationary device, so that's why there is no problem. So we can simply consuming continuous power which is possible in case of AC machine, means there is no heating of element, either there is no heating of armature to the at that instant. Why? Because there is no rotating to the armature, so that armature will be so existing to the some constant or like a fixed position at the stator. That's why we can continuously supply consuming at the high voltage levels, so that is possible in case of AC machines, okay. So that is not possible in case of DC machines. Why? So in case of DC machines, the armature winding will be rotating along with the rotor, so that's why the heat will be morely developed in case of armature. Due to the resultant, there may be a burning of armature. That's why we can't use it for the at high voltage rating in case of DC machines. So this is the main constructional difference between both AC machines as well as DC machines, okay. And also another one is the main thing also there, that is like either synchronous generator or like AC generator. So in that we can't use any type of commutator segments. Why? Because any machine generally the armature generally produces as a sinusoidal nature. So that's why, so that sinusoidal plus here we want to, this is like if it is like a AC generator, so the output maybe comes to the AC current. So that's why we can't use it to convert properly with the help of any type of converting devices, So that's why there is no need of commutator segments in case of AC machines. That is like either AC generators or like a synchronous generator or like induction generators, okay. But in case of DC machines, like either DC generators or DC motors, we machines should be used to the commutator segments also. Why? Because so here DC machines means the output we machine should be required to the DC power. Current. So that's why we machine should be inserting to the commutator on the shaft of the rotor. So then only with the help of commutator we can converting from the AC into DC, AC power into DC. So that DC supply will be which is given to the load center. Okay. So this is the main difference between AC machines as well as DC machines. Okay. I think you understood what I am saying. Okay. If you have any doubts, please put on the comment box. I will give you a reply. Okay. So thank you one and all. Thank you.